Last year, you made a powerful statement saying the reason people are watching women's basketball is not just because of one player, but because of you too. A year later, do you feel like you're
Next question.
The reporter never finished his question and didn't need to. Angel Reese summed up the WNBA's current dynamic with Caitlin Clark in just 2 words. That moment marked a major shift in the league's relationship with Clark. Let's break it down.
WNBA last year, bless their hearts, finally got a star. And they didn't know that. They couldn't figure it out. Well, we don't want to put too much Caitlin Clark on. Nope, every game. More Caitlin Clark all the time, always. Caitlin Clark is easily the most influential athlete in a team sport since Michael.
Caitlin Clark's impact has been undeniable. Millions of new fans, sold-out arenas, and record-breaking viewership. But instead of welcoming this transformative energy, many within the WNBA resisted. They questioned the hype, dismissed her influence, and even mocked her fanbase. They saw Clark not as an opportunity, but as a threat. To outsiders, it was baffling.
There's levels to this thing, and that's just life. We all went through it.
Clark was everything the WNBA had hoped for: visibility, cultural breakthrough, mainstream success. But the fact that she was the one leading it all didn't sit well with some. For many players, this wasn't a victory, it was a loss. A loss of the dream that they would collectively elevate the league. Worse, the myth that fans didn't care about women's basketball was shattered. They did care, but they showed up for Caitlin.
If we say her stats are today, what?
20 points, 8.4 assists, 6 rebounds.
That's crazy.
But 5
That's crazy.
By this point last season, Clark was already living rent-free in the heads of many. She hadn't just arrived, she'd exploded onto the scene, tripling viewership, selling out NBA arenas, breaking jersey sales records. Every Indiana Fever game became a must-watch event.
Caitlin's coming. There's more than just that are coming. What will the league have in store for them when they get there?
Look, SVP, reality is coming.
The jealousy started before Clark ever played a pro game. After shattering the NCAA all-time scoring record and carrying Iowa to back-to-back championship games, she was drafted first overall, a no-brainer. But her entry came with a level of hype that no previous WNBA star, not even MVPs like Aya Wilson or Breanna Stewart, had seen. That stung. Enter stage 1 of the grief cycle, denial.
Last season. Clark, hammer. 3 Sky players coming over. Here's Clark. Her 29 points gets tripped up.
Is good. Kennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench.
Many hoped Clark would flop, proving college success doesn't translate to the pros. But she didn't. Her first game drew 2.1 million viewers, the most in 2 decades. Each appearance spiked ratings. Jerseys flew off shelves. The media attention intensified. The league's veterans lost their "I told you so" moment. And that ushered in stage 2, anger.
It's just the structure of the way media plays out race. So last night we read Time magazine where Caitlin Clark was named Athlete of the Year. Why couldn't they have put the whole WNBA on that cover?
The one thing that I cannot deny is the amount of little girls that were showing up to follow her. Little girls with their parents and the fervor and the energy there.
Why her?
Same thing.
Why her?
Well, but she was a white girl from the middle of America.
The pushback moved from subtle to physical. Clark faced hard screens, off-ball hits, and aggressive fouls, many going uncalled by refs. It became a pattern: let her take hits, wear her down, make her question if she belonged. But she didn't fold. She got stronger, literally. After the Olympic break, she returned playing MVP-caliber basketball, leading Indiana to wins, breaking assist records, earning All-Star honors. That forced the league into stage 3, bargaining.
Caitlin is fantastic, and I think she's going to have an incredible career in the WNBA. There are women that were worthy of coverage prior to her arriving, and I just will not be silenced when it comes to that.
Criticizing Clark directly would backfire, so the focus shifted. Her fans were attacked. The media was blamed. Narratives emerged: she was getting preferential treatment, her fans weren't real WNBA supporters, and her success was tied to her skin color, not her talent. Never mind her stats. Never mind the packed arenas. The story being pushed wasn't about greatness, it was about bias.
And for the first time in history, WNBA games will be played in the United Center. The Chicago Sky will host the Indiana Fever at the UC on Saturday, June 7th, and on Sunday, July 27th.
The narrative grew louder. Repeated often enough, it convinced some fans she wasn't talented, just lucky. But the truth wouldn't stay buried. Veterans Bonner, Howard, Coulson lined up to join the Indiana Fever. These weren't benchwarmers. These were champions with options, and they all chose to play alongside Clark.
Average reported ticket price was $650. Now, if you do the math here and you do 15,000 people times $650, that is almost $9.75 million just for a WNBA preseason.
Everything began revolving around Clark. Arena upgrades, games moved to larger venues just for her. Teams that never played in NBA arenas suddenly did when Clark came to town. Out of Indiana's 44 regular season games, 41 were nationally televised. Preseason games were selling out 15,000-seat arenas at playoff prices just to watch her warm up.
Have we ever had teams have to get into larger arenas to play against a team? No, we have not. So if we have more eyeballs on the game and Caitlin Clark brings that, why would we feel some kind of way because she has more television games? I think we have to understand that when one player eats, we all eat. And as we all get more opportunities, it just opens it up for everyone else.
Caitlin Clark a problem, bro.
Yeah, see that.
I just think about my rookie year and I think about how I came into the league and I'm like, bro, it was such a crazy transition for me to just understand what it's like to play at the pro level. And it's like this girl coming in as a rookie and going she broke the record for assists. I don't think people really understand how crazy that is to do as a rookie your first year doing this. But that's another episode. Shout out to Caitlin, bro.
The plays that she was making still, despite all that, was insane. But people were so caught up in the logo threes and the highs, the 20 3-point attempts per game, which absolutely I understand that. It was so much fun to watch. But I always said she could potentially be one of the best point guards to ever play in the WNBA.
At that point, the Caitlin Clark effect wasn't hype, it was economics. She was revenue, momentum, visibility. Teams weren't marketing their own stars anymore, they were banking on Clark. Ticket sales soared only when she was in town. The spotlight had shifted, and the league had to accept the reality, she was the epicenter.
Fans filed outside in droves, getting ready at Carver Hawkeye Arena, and watch parties all around Iowa City. Everybody wants to catch a glimpse of Iowa's favorite daughter, Caitlin Clark, returning home.
Coverage wasn't perfect, there were still double standards and unfair criticism, but the tone changed. Media outlets began celebrating her leadership and impact. Players who were once skeptical started giving credit, not just she's good, but she's changing the game.
Of the day for Brazil. Here's Clark. Wow! You bet! From beyond the logo!
The tipping point? Her homecoming game. More than 1.3 million viewers tuned in. It outdrew preseason games from other pro leagues. But it wasn't just about viewership, it was about what Clark did with that spotlight.
I think one of the things I love about Caitlin the most is her understanding and willingness to meet the moment and do the thing that she knows everyone wants her to do.
She knows what the people
She broke the record
want.
making that shot to begin with. There's just a certain star quality and star power there. But it takes you being confident enough, willing enough to be oh no. I know what you want. Come here. I'm gonna give it to you. I loved it so much. I just think it's great. I love when athletes have that bring the cameras right over here.
Well,
it's so fun.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. She knows it.
It is clear that she is having her freaking Michael Jordan moment right now.
Well, 1.3 million people watched it on ESPN. 1.3
2.3 million people. Let me put that in perspective, just between us. No NBA preseason game has had that audience in the last 7 years. Only 2 preseason games in the NBA have had that audience in the last 15 years. More people watched this preseason game than game 1 of last year's WNBA Finals. No MLB spring training game has ever come close. The most is when 912,000 people watched the Yankees-Phillies, and that was 20 years ago. 1.3 million people watched Caitlin Clark.
In the exact spot where she once broke the NCAA scoring record, she pulled up from deep and drilled a 3. The arena exploded. It wasn't just a shot, it was theater. Timing, symbolism, execution, flawless.
It is a balance, but she's a generational talent. No league's ever about one player, but in this case, Caitlin brought tens of millions of new viewers into the W, and there's no denying that impact. Not just in the WNBA, but the world of sports. Adam and I talk all the time about like, she's the most popular athlete in America.
Like this season, people are trying to get on the right side of history after kind of being weird the first year. So I can see like the narrative is already kind of, they're waiting for her to produce so that they can say like they were right.
Whatever you want to call Mamba mentality. Whatever you define as Mamba mentality, there's no question about it. The Caitlin Clark has.
Even the Brazilian national team couldn't resist. After the game, they mobbed her like she was Michael Jordan, smiling, posing for selfies. That wasn't just admiration, it was recognition. That was the moment everything changed. Not just the stats or headlines, but the optics. The images matched the numbers. The perception caught up to reality. The illusion that this league revolved around anyone else finally shattered. And with that, the game changed. Now the players, analysts, and media who once pushed back are suddenly pro-Caitlin. The sellouts, ratings, and gravity she brings to every arena ended the debate. While others eased into the offseason, Caitlin was at speaking events, the Masters, NFL meetings, then in the gym at 8 a.m. the next morning. No excuses. No burnout. That's not hype, that's Kobe-level discipline. Caitlin Clark is stronger, smarter, and fully prepared to take over. Her confidence has only grown. Some haters are scrambling to get ahead of the narrative. Others have gone silent. But the truth is clear, the grief comes from not being the star anymore. Some players show frustration. Some go quiet. Others, like Sophie Cunningham, embraced it from the start. Regardless, the moment has arrived. The proof is everywhere. That Iowa preseason game wasn't hype, it was the rebirth of the Caitlin Clark era. And this time? It's going to be bigger than ever.